By now, we should all know the importance of having some kind of financial know-how. Adding financial literacy, education to the crypto markets, or education to the stock markets is only going to help you build and establish some kind of stranglehold on some form of wealth, some form of financial security. And with that, freedom. So without any more being said, let's hop right into it. Episode 4, we're going to talk a little bit about cryptocurrencies. I have a little bit of the stocks that I've been dabbling with this week. There's been a lot of big news, especially with some of the bounce backs that some of the stocks are seeing. Is there another short squeeze imminent? Earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday, GameStop, Nokia, and AMC specifically, we're starting to see a lot of very, very, very interesting movement. And it made me think, are we about to see what we saw a few months back where, GameStop really made history? But with no more being said, let's hop right into it. Let's talk about the factors that cause stock slips. Let's talk about the factors that cause crypto slips. Let's just talk about our finances. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. But until then, let's get on with episode 4. First item on the literary menu, cryptocurrency. Specifically the last 3 weeks has been insane. I mean, I dabbled in cryptocurrency when I initially had started my Robinhood account and it had blown up. I had taken a portion of that monies because I did not see my account getting that big in the first place. I had taken a portion of that monies and moved it into crypto, moved it into another portfolio over on Webull. So I have not only my Robinhood portfolio, I have my Webull portfolio, and then I have my Coinbase account. I will leave links to Coinbase, Robinhood, Webull, all down below, so you guys can, get to clicking on those. You click on those, by the way, it is my invitation bonus. So you'll get a free stock. Obviously, I'll get a free stock. It's like you're buying me a drink. I appreciate that. But it's just a little something to get more people involved and to encourage current investors to get people involved. But other than that, there's no kickback. I'm not signed by any of these big businesses, big marketeers. So I'm just doing me. But I did want to enlighten some people to, get invested if they have the residual income. Nonetheless, past 3 weeks, cryptocurrency. We'll start with week number 1, where it was what I'll call the run-up. We basically went from $38K or $38,000 a single Bitcoin to $60K. Awe-inspiring run. Took all of, I think, a week to get accomplished. And even in the Ethereum realm, you saw a run up of Ethereum, be it because of NFTs. I know Gary Vee just dropped a ton of NFTs that have a bunch of perks tied to them. I just watched Genius's interview with Andy Hayward. He's saying that Stan Lee NFTs are coming. And I mean, beyond that, there's NFTs being sold, people getting educated, people making, creating, expanding that market on a daily basis. So Ethereum saw quite a bit of a run up from $2,500 a coin to $4,000 a coin. Insane. Fast forward to a week later, where I was in the position where it's like, okay, well, is this the top? I thought I could see Bitcoin going to maybe 75K mid-May. Since April was kind of hectic, it didn't have the run up that I thought it would the last 2 weeks of April. However, May was a little more fruitful up until Elon came along and had some pretty testy things to say about the farming and mining of Bitcoin in the first place. You'd think some forethought would have been involved as far as him having a green company, an electric company, and then them endorsing cryptocurrency transactions for their vehicles. Cryptocurrencies primarily being mined from fossil fuels, although you can find green ways to manifest them, and that is encouraged. But nonetheless, I'm going to take a step back from Ethereum and Bitcoin to talk about what the cryptocurrency community is calling altcoins, or alternative coins, if you will. Anything but Bitcoin and Ethereum. That can include Dogecoin, the Matic, Cardano, XRP, Compound, the Maker, whatever crypto altcoin that you have found yourself in, just know that all of them follow Bitcoin to a certain degree. So when Elon did state those things about Tesla no longer accepting Bitcoin, or when China made those statements about them tightening up restrictions on people even using Bitcoin in their country. When Bitcoin tanked, all of them tanked, even though altcoins were having one hell of a run there for that second week. So I'll call the third phase was the altcoin run. I was seeing things like the Matic, seeing things like Dogecoin, Cardano, XRP, all go up by like 40%. And those are even after the crash. Here it is, Wednesday the 26th. The crash would have happened a little late last week. But now you're starting to see nature kind of heal itself, as they say. A lot of those crypto alts, specifically the ones I'm in on the Matic and Compound, we're starting to make a pretty genuine, sincere comeback at around 40 points a piece. So those are also assets that if you're looking to, multiply your money, make sure you have stop losses, make sure you know what you're investing in, and make sure you know what you're investing in. Because these aren't just names. All these altcoins, all these cryptocurrencies have functions that either simplify or help move along the cryptocurrency transactory phase, or, just a handoff of cryptocurrency. But still, all have value. Should not be not taken seriously, because as of last week, 50% gains for anybody would look really good right about now. On to the next topic then. Anybody want to hear about Genius? Ticker symbol GNUS. I know I talk about them all the time, guys, but I think this is literally one of the best value plays on the market. I've been invested with Genius since I got started investing, since the beginning of the pandemic. It wasn't the first company I heard about, but it was the most promising growth at the time, what I thought was a promising potential growth stock that I could find. This is a digital asset company that deals with kids, animated content, be it educational, humor, hijinks, inclusive. A lot of their shows are promoting diversification, which I really like. And it's really like the next wave of animated cartoons or Saturday morning cartoons. And to get in and on that bandwagon, I thought was pivotal. They have a bunch of assets, a bunch of things coming up the pipeline. If you haven't seen my last video, I kind of go into detail on some of those things, including Shaq's Garage, Baby Shaq, and apparently they have a YouTuber or a influencer much more significant than myself getting involved who's going to help push the show. So the pipeline for Genius is just now. And I've been invested for a year, is just now starting to move. And I'm so fine with it. I might even double up my position, because this is a company that I could see 5-10 years down the road being bigger than Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network combined. And you know what they did for us for our childhood, So little side facts. I know I went over a few in the last video, but Genius did newly appoint a president of operations for Genius Brands, which I think will go to help speed along some of their announcements, speed along some of their acquisitions, or, some of their proposed PR that they have coming out. Does this change my mind about Genius? Only in the best ways. I think that their president appointee, John Allweather, or Welther, however you pronounce it, I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but has nothing but good things to bring to the company. And he's Genius is consistently bringing out new content and intellectual properties that I think will help maintain its value forever. Now, other than Genius, let's talk about some of the other stuff that I'm invested in. Earlier this week, Ford had announced that they are expecting to, they made the announcement for their upcoming truck, which is due to drop in 2022, the Ford Lightning. Fully electric truck. Now, Ford is a company that I have had my hands in since I started my Robinhood account, because that is the free stock they gave me, was Ford. At the time, it was only $5. So there's a lot of opportunity there as far as trying to build up a position. But I say all this to say I've seen Ford's growth. Ford's growth and price action has been more than just a stand by the window and watch what's going on type deal. Getting Ford as my initial stock on Robinhood, I kind of took as a calling, like, hey, this might be a value play that you can play later down the road. Watch what happens. It's obviously an American born and bred company, so it has that going for it, which is more important than I feel like most people stress when we get into these semi-geopolitical issues, where, China is doing one thing or Russia is doing another thing. And some companies that you might be investing in might be in those, parts of the world. You can see a downturn. Or anything that's tied to anything from political to, geopolitical to just anything. On Tuesday, meme stocks broke out in a very definitive way. Ever since the initial short squeeze that had happened, some of these meme stocks have seen a lot of downturn. Some of them have bounced, but none of them have seen really any positive price movement that has been, something a value or a growth investor like myself would be necessarily interested in until recently. I never thought that GameStop would be able to hold its value above $100. I know the company. I've obviously grown up in a generation, where that is you're going to go there for almost all your video gaming needs. And this is a realm of commerce that is ever expanding, that is at the top. I don't know if anybody knows, but gaming, more than any other channel or stream of business, carries out more transactions, more significant transactions than any other form. That's digital media, that's entertainment, that's music, all of it. Gaming tops it all. So it's important to have, kind of your go-to stock in that regard. And for me, I like to play Activision Blizzard. In a lot of cases, I had shares of them at one point in time. I have options calls out on them every now and then. They have a lot in their pipeline, a lot of different video games, a lot of different stuff that you can probably remember. Anybody my age can remember from their youth or probably still playing to this day. So Activision Blizzard is infinitely valuable because it has application across the board for kids ages 2 to ages 52. So keep an eye out for that one as well. So all this volatility and one question lingered in my mind the entire time. Why and how? So let's first talk about the factors that have caused slips in the stock market in the past couple of weeks. One of the biggest ones is inflation. With all the stimulus checks, all the government assistance, all the exorbitant creation of the dollar bill, it has quickly dwindled down how much the dollar is worth as a whole, thus pushing the cost of everything else up. This is inflation. It simply means the cost of living has risen. And this happens periodically. This is something that can negatively affect stocks. It can negatively affect 10-year bond yields. Not really sure of the effects that it has on crypto, other than the fact that people are pulling out of the dollar and siphoning their money into crypto as a way to get away from fiat currencies as a whole. But nonetheless, this is something that needs to be looked at with a fine monocle, just because it's something that's going to happen. It's inevitable. And the best thing you can do is prepare for it, be it in the case of stocking up on certain stocks that'll pay you dividends, getting out of certain opportunities that may be taxing come tax season, or whatever the case may be. The 10-year bond yield and inflation are two things that in the past few weeks I've become very familiar with, just because they've hindered the growth of my stock portfolio. And that is expected. You can't expect growth. There's always going to be a drawback. If there's never drawbacks, we would never be able to make money. Nonetheless, on to the next thing, the next factor that I feel has caused a lot of volatility in the stock market, is the unemployment numbers. They've been generally underwhelming. A couple of times we have hit the mark as far as getting under what the expected unemployment numbers could be, thus pushing up the overall consensus of how well the country's doing as a whole coming out of the pandemic. However, those unemployment numbers are constantly fluctuating. We have unemployment benefits that incentivize people to stay unemployed. Thus, that number is kind of gridlocked. So I think over the next 3 to 6, we're going to see a transition shift out of people relying on unemployment as much and moving into jobs that are starting to pay more, due to inflation. But this is something that you also want to keep your eye on a weekly basis, because it's something that is released weekly, as far as, how many people are unemployed, where these numbers are coming from, what sectors these numbers are coming from, and where all the money is really going. For a final thing on here that I have that caused financial slips in the stock market were economic projections, like the Green New Deal. When Joe Biden first announced the Green New Deal, I was giddy. I had a lot of clean energy plays. I had a lot of nuclear plays. I had a lot of restructuring plays that would have done really well. But because of the political aspects that go into that might not see the light of day for a while. That might be caught in gridlock. So it's important to act accordingly on that, stay updated on that. Find any news source you can, newspaper, YouTube channel, or otherwise, that can really inform you on what is going on with those economic projections of these deals that might ultimately shake, shift, or quake the financial realm in a very significant way. We finally made it to the end. It was a good episode, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe the best one yet, who knows? Let me know down in the comments. But for the next episode, I'm hoping to have, fingers double crossed here, at least my hard drive for my computer up so we can start getting back to comprehensive reviews, some of that educational content that I know you guys value a lot for all those new investors out there. I had some stock charts, tools that you use to look at stock charts, and then how to read candlesticks coming up in that. So that's going to be good. But in close, while we know the crypto market is not at its peak right now, not down 40% either off its highs, but slowly making a comeback, it is ever volatile. And that is something you just have to keep in mind if you want to get involved with it. Know that money there is or can be used for long-term or short-term purposes. I'm sorry. Getting to the end of the video, so I'm a little lax at the jaw. But nonetheless, every drawback leads to a run-up. If you look in the past on all the run-ups from crypto and Bitcoin, or any of the coins for that matter, it has come after a significant drawback. So just hodl, for lack of a better word. But don't ignore altcoins either. Obviously, there's been a lot of growth there, a lot of money made there. I have slowly shifted my attention over there as well. So I encourage all my followers to do so. And if you have any questions or have any up and coming altcoins that you think might, do well, leave it down in the comments. We'll pass some ideas around in that regard. But until the next time, hit that like, hit that comment, and the subscribe button. And thanks for watching. I appreciate all you guys. Till next time. Peace.